Distraction is basically, it's almost like there is a path that goes straight to enlightenment. And you know what that path is. It starts from focusing, and that focusing deepens, and the path expands, and you eventually become enlightened. Now, what happens when you start walking? There are other channels that lead away from that path, and they have a magnetic power to pull you. Now, what is this magnetic power? Your entire life. You have never walked straight. As a child, you started walking and something drew your attention and you took right. And even on the right, you did not go straight. Another left, another right, another left. Because you did not exercise your choice to focus. You did not know what to focus on. Nobody told you to focus on the breath. So naturally, you assumed that life is about engaging with whatever activities that I am supposed to engage in. There is no need to actually bring attention and awareness away from the activities to myself, to my breath, to my body, to my mind. You have not even exercised that faculty. And now you have the entire conditioning of your life fighting against a simple existential phenomenon of sitting and watching the breath. Now, why is enlightenment difficult? Why is awakening difficult? Not because it is hard, not because it is tricky, not because it is very difficult to understand. It's because your mind is a set pattern. The conditioning is deep. One single thought has the potential to completely take you away from your meditation and throw you into a totally different realm. You don't even have to be lost in thoughts. You just have to entertain one thought. That's enough. That thought will introduce you to other thoughts. And by the time you realize, you are in the middle of a big crowd of thoughts. And where is your breath? Gone. And this happens again and again and again, and you get frustrated. I cannot do a simple task. Then who am I? I am just a bundle of thoughts. My fear, my anger, my frustration, they are not mine. They are just deep-rooted conditioning. And I am a victim of my mind. I am not using my mind. My mind is not a tool. My mind is not a gift, it's a curse. It's an infection, it's a disease. And that's what I'm dealing with on a daily basis. That is why I need meditation. That is why I need focusing. That is why I cannot give up on watching, because it is through watching that I can regain my ability to focus. It is by focusing that I can develop the ability to focus. There is no other way to learn how to focus other than by focusing. You cannot read books and develop focus. You cannot watch videos and develop focus. You cannot theoretically understand it and develop focus. A few things you can understand theoretically and then apply it practically. Focus has no theory. It is only practical. Either you know how to focus or you don't. Either you have exercised that choice enough or you haven't. Meditation, mindfulness, relaxation, bliss all follow your ability to focus. The only thing you can do, the only thing you are allowed to do, the only thing you should do is focus. And it does not matter what you're focusing on. Yes, meditation teachers will tell you that meditation is not focus. Focus and meditation are two completely different things. Well, this is what confuses people. Okay, meditation is different from focusing, but where do I begin? I cannot begin with meditation because when I meditate, I'm just thinking. I need focus. Teachers talk about the difference between focus and meditation because they know the difference. They've experienced the difference. Initially, when they started practicing, they had no clue what meditation was. They had no clue what relaxation was, what awareness was. They only picked up a technique, a method, and they started following it. Show me a single enlightened individual who has started with anything other than focusing. Take Buddha, the method that he used. First, he was distracted. He went from one teacher to another, one practice to another. He tried so many different things. Finally, he just said, I just need to watch my breath. And when he started watching his breath, eventually that watching, that focusing is what became awareness and eventually became his awakening. And after that, the only method he gave was watch the breath. Ramana Maharshi, he said, self-inquiry. You ask him any question, he'll point you to the self. For him, self is the focusing point. Well, how can you focus on the self? You don't know what self is. That is why nobody has reached enlightenment following Ramana Maharshi's methods, because there is no method. There is no technique. He just says, be with the self. Yes, he's talking about something very significant. He's directly getting you to the source, but it's extraordinarily difficult to focus without something physical to focus, something real to focus. He knows the self. He's realized the self after months and years of meditative silence. That is why he's not a good teacher. Not all enlightened individuals can teach. A teacher has to become the student to teach. He has to see where the student is. He cannot be talking from the space that he is in. But it's inevitable that an enlightened teacher confuses you because he's in a different space than where you are. You are stuck in a world of thoughts. You are tormented by desires. You are a victim of your mind, the conditioning of your mind. Words like awareness, meditation, enlightenment, awakening don't mean anything. The only word that means anything that you can hold on to and make something of it is focus. Because that is something you can do. And when you're failing to focus, at least you know that you're failing. When you directly try to meditate, when you directly try to be aware, when you're not aware, you will not even know. Imagine you're taking a walk, and up until now, you have just walked in deep unconsciousness. You never paid attention to your body. Let's say I introduce the idea of mindfulness. I say, be mindful. Watch yourself. Just be aware of yourself. Okay? Simple enough. I have to be aware of myself. but I have not told you what exactly to do. I've just used the words awareness, watch, and do it. That's about it. Now, how will you do it? You can be aware in a moment, oh, I'm walking. But how long can you hold on to that idea of walking? You will take 2 steps and you start drifting in thoughts. And once you start drifting in thoughts, and then when you come back to the body, you're confused. Was I aware or not? Well, I was aware. I was aware of what I was dreaming. I was aware that I was walking on a beach. See, that word awareness can be manipulated. But imagine if I were to tell you, walk, but focus on your breath. Watch your breath. Now you know when you're walking on the beach, you're not watching the breath. Without knowing where you are failing, without knowing how you're getting distracted, how can you focus? Without knowing what to avoid, how can you move towards something? Meditation will happen by itself. Awareness will happen by itself. Initially, you have to focus and focus fully. Your question, how much do I focus on the breath versus watching body sensations? What do I do when I get distracted? If your method is to focus on the breath, then that is your method. There is no distributing your energies between watching the breath and watching body sensations. If you watch body sensations, you have to bring your focus back to the breath. But if you choose to watch body sensations, if that is your method for that session, then just watch body sensations. It is not that watching body sensations is not focusing. That is a different method. Watching the breath is a different method. You can alternate between watching the breath and watching body sensations only after you have understood the art of focusing, only after a while where you know how to focus. When your ability to focus has developed to a point where you're not drifting in thoughts, then you can choose what to focus on. You can watch the breath, you can watch body sensations, you can listen to the sounds, you can even watch thoughts, because your ability to focus has developed so much that you can play with anything. But initially, because the faculties have not developed, if you try to focus on 2 things, watching the breath and watching body sensations, you will be doing neither. You will be lost somewhere in the middle in the realm of thoughts. You will start drifting. Initially, restrict yourself as much as possible. Don't look for relaxation. Don't look for peace. Look for focus. Slowly, that focus will expand and it will make room for awareness. That small mustard seed will begin to grow. And as it begins to grow, you will have more things to watch. There is a new growth. There's a new leaf. And every day, your awareness is expanding. Now you have more space to move around. But remember, you're not moving on the outside. You're not jumping from one seed to another. You're not jumping from one plant to another. You're not thinking about other teachers, other methods, other techniques. You are moving, but in a focused way. You are allowing the movement to grow naturally. Initially, you should know that you don't have any room to move. You can only focus. Slowly, it will expand. It will grow. Give it time. Just nurture it. And how do you nurture it? By relaxing. That's the fertile ground. The more relaxed you are, the deeper you're focusing, the more the expansion. These are the only few ideas that you need to be concerned with. Focus, relaxation, deepening. If you're unable to focus, don't try to focus, try to relax. That will help you to focus. Sooner or later, you will get what Osho calls knack. He's the only enlightened teacher who's used the word knack. People have referred to meditation as a science. They have looked at it as a religious activity, as prayer. He was the first one who said it's a knack. It is a knack. It can only be developed with practice. And again, it's not linear. You will get the knack of how to focus. You will intuitively realize that, oh, I'm unable to focus because I am too eager to focus. I am trying to do something here. I am adding thoughts. Let me relax. Let me just watch. Let me just focus. You will miss it. You will keep missing it. But eventually you will understand how you're missing, how you're getting distracted. You will recognize the deep conditioning of the mind, and you will know how to pull yourself away from it and just focus.